There you are, Miss Beautiful.
Yay.
Hey. Oh, my ear just got plugged. You look gorgeous.
So do you. I love the dark hair.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I do whatever I can get, whatever's on sale at Revlon.
Yes, 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 yes. Oh, I am. First, I'm full of a million apologies for you.
What? No, hey, I feel like I owe you an apology. I have been up and down the last few days and I so know life.
It was the first one was, I thought I wrote it down. Didn't. The second one was, I don't know. Or I didn't look at my calendar before I went to bed. And so out the door. I am so sorry, but yay, we're here.
Yeah, that's the main thing. And I love your background. My gosh, it's so inviting. I don't know what it is. Do you like plan that or study that, how to set up your surroundings?
No, I just have always, my college dorm room looked like this. It always had lots of stuff around. It's just, whether it's books, I'm not much, it's funny, I'm an author and I don't read that much, but I do, I like self-help books. I like personal story books. And I need bright color. My husband actually picked out the color of this office.
I love it. It just draws you in. You're so excited and just so ready to get into exciting things to talk about.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So I'm drawn into kind of interviewing again, getting away from it for years, and then just kind of impulsively, it turns right back into that. And I'm so into people's lives, and I'm really intrigued by your life. We've got a gym, a screenplay, sex, a woman who's just still so in love with her husband. And yeah. I would love to know how that all works. Books, you're working on a second book.
Well, actually, my memoir was my fifth book.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I have a children's book, a book on caregiving, a poetry book, a book on karma, and then my memoir.
Oh my gosh, are these all up at like Amazon or Barnes?
You can get my memoir on Amazon, the On a Roll, and the other ones you can go on my website. You can get me at awomanonwheels.com or accessforall.com.
I can't believe that. When did you start publishing? Because I think I just got your memoir 10 years ago.
Yes. When did we meet? And I know we've met through was it women's groups, or I don't know.
The Women Empowerment Channel. And that's where I interviewed you. And I believe it was for your memoir, because I read all the books. Hi, Carolyn.
Who's Carolyn?
Carolyn Arno. I also interviewed her. I went to school with her. She changed the laws for rape out of the country. She was raped herself, unfortunately. And we all wanted to be here. I think Alika might join too to support you. Hi, Carolyn.
Hi there.
Carolyn, this is Katie.
Hi,
Hola.
Cool Katie, chick in a chair, she calls herself. I love it. But you were in the middle of saying, what were you saying? Me with the brain injury. Thanks, Katie.
I don't know, man. I might not have been diagnosed with a brain injury, but that mind's on just
right. It doesn't matter at this point in our life. We're all kind of at the same plateau. But we're talking about the Women Empowerment Channel when I interviewed you. And
yes.
I'm sure it was your memoir that I interviewed you about. You were so kick-ass and so funny. And I mean, interviewing you is not interviewing you. I mean, you just know how to present yourself.
People always tell me that when they get nervous for going to interviews, I'm like, just relax, have fun with it. They're there to get to know you and who you are. And, so, I mean, interviewing has always been my favorite part of the job.
And this is really girl time. So I wasn't nervous. Usually I get nervous, and I wanted to just make this kind of a fun thing. It started out with COVID, and then me, Carolyn, and Alika, who have been the ones showing up, we're talking a lot about just kind of anything, makeup and wrinkles. And, they both have been sexual abuse counselors, and they both have been sexually abused. And Alika just came out with her story last time. So it was just to really connect, where I was so alone at home. And I know you had that too.
Yes. Isolation. Oh, it's totally sucked. I need people. I need humanity.
Yeah.
And it's been tough.
Well, I wasn't afraid to come talk to you because I know that you're very public, and you're just a cute little chatterbug, and I am too. So I said, I was so tired last night. I said, if I get 3 hours sleep, I don't care. I mean, I'm dragging myself to Katie, and I know she's going to get me through this, but I got more sleep.
Did you?
Yes. Now, if I can talk, 5 books. She has 5 books, Carolyn. I'm trying to talk Carolyn to writing a book.
Oh, Carolyn, you should write a book. What do you, oh, please. Tell me your story. What do you think is the most important thing you really want to share?
At this stage of my life, I'm in an uplifting mode. So it's funny you would talk about this because when we moved last year from Oregon to Maine, and we had a huge house and gotten rid of at least half of our belongings. And then I counted today, I moved over a dozen boxes filled with all of my case materials, depositions and court papers and so on and so forth. We've moved those boxes 8 times. And the last time was sitting there for over 15 years in our garage in Oregon. And we sat there, it was one of the last things we looked at because we had this huge dumpster. And I said, Monty, I'm done with this. I thought I'd write a book. I haven't written it yet. I'm not going to. It's too depressing. It brings me to a very dark place in my life, and I don't want to go there. I'm very unwell with Parkinson's now, and it's too stressful, and I'd like to keep it where it needs to stay and back where I put it, and I don't want to bring it forward anymore. I've done my part with my case. I won my big, huge legal battle. Did everything I could to prevent this man from raping again, which really wasn't much, but I tried.
Maybe someday it can be about the new you, though, nothing to do. That's how I feel. The new you. This is Carolyn.
Yeah. It's a very freeing feeling to be where I'm at, and to throw those boxes away in the dumpster felt so good. It was so healing for me.
And so that's the universe saying, you know what? You do not need to do that in your book. Your book is about you. Your book is about people. That's the only kind of books I read really are self stories, motivating stories. I want to hear how somebody else did it, right. And then this is how I did it. And this is how I can help you. And just talk to the reader and tell them what you're going through, what you went through. I went through a 10-year legal battle myself with Suzuki Motor Corporation and beat them twice in trials, 95 and 97, took 10 years to settle. And yeah, it's a part of my story. It's in my memoir a little bit, but it is not nearly the focus that love is, that companionship, friendship, honesty, being fit as you can, kind of taking what you've got left and making the most of it. And that's the kind of story that I want to hear. So and you can start by, what would your chapter titles be? This afternoon, grab a piece of paper and write down. Sometimes I even like to start with the title, but I just like, what are my chapter titles? And then I go into that each chapter title and go, all right, what story do I want to share that's an example of this that supports that?
That is
I find over and over again that some of our greatest challenges turn into our greatest blessings. I've learned so many things from each horrid experience, but also great experiences. Yeah. But my girls were born at 26 weeks, and that was difficult. I held both of my parents while they both each passed away. Wow. I mean, heart-wrenching experiences there. But and now with Parkinson's, now I'm meeting people I never would have otherwise met, and learning things I otherwise wouldn't have learned, and all, like you said, can help other people going through similar things. And it took me years to get to this point. Oh, how would I love to have been like this 30 years ago?
But maybe you should have, would have, could have. Don't do that to yourself, because you weren't ready for it. You just weren't. You need to be ready for it. And then when you write this book, then you contact all these different agencies that help people with mental health, that help people with your disability, that help people with my disability. I mean, just the disability community, organizations look for speakers, where I've got some live gigs coming up. I'm so excited about being in front of people. And then you take your book and say, hey, here's a piece of me. Would you like that on the way out? And that's how I sell. I don't sell. I'm a terrible marketer. I don't want to do it, but I want my book to get into the hands of the people that need to read it.
Yeah, the master doors do open.
Do you have a publisher, or are you self-publishing?
I self-published all of them except my personal care attendant guide got published by Demos Medical Publishing and then they didn't sell enough of them by their standards, which is fine. And so I own the rights to it now. So
I know someone who's a great publisher, and she's great at marketing, and I can send you her information. She's actually publishing a book of my husband's, and
yeah.
And she's doing a series of books about breast cancer survivors, and I think they're on their third one now.
Oh my gosh, I got diagnosed this past year, and I did
I will definitely.
Yeah, we need to connect with that. Yeah, and I would love anything that you could offer and support. That'd be awesome.
This would be great.
This is great.
Yeah, because she gets these books like #1 on the top bestseller list on Amazon and so forth. She really knows her stuff when it comes to that. So I will give you her information.
I would love that.
That's really good. Going back to the fact that you learn from everything that you've gone through, and I can't say that something good comes out of everything that's bad, because some things are really tragic. I still haven't been able to find the goodness out of my daughter being crushed in my body as a 17-year-old, being dragged to an illegal place to have an abortion as I was drugged and taken down physically. My parents not knowing I was taken from home. And, but every day I try to work.
Wait, you were taken, somebody came and took you without your permission?
Yes, took me out of school, took me from my parents' home, and took me to an illegal facility to have my second-term baby murdered, basically. I could feel her body being crushed by, I'm assuming he was a real doctor, I don't know, by his hand. And then the baby's body was taken out after and thrown in a trash can. And I almost bled to death, of course. But there was so many other little girls there that one little girl stirred. And that's the only reason they put a towel inside of me, because the blood was just, you can feel your body rushing out from so much blood. So I survived that. But yeah, I was in shock and blamed myself that I was a dirty little girl that had sex, and that I trusted the person that took me there. So I made bad decisions, but I was 17 years old. So yeah, isn't that a story? Yeah.
Are you writing that? Are you doing anything with that? Please say yes.
Well, I put a little bit of it in my books from running from abuse, because I really didn't know what I was running from. I didn't know what happened to me. I just looked at it like I was a bad little girl. I deserved it. That's how these things are done. Yes. So even just through the pandemic, I learned what they do to little girls, and convenient wise, and grotesquely other things that, I don't know if I should share in here, because sometimes kids show up. Yeah. But I'm just learning now. So maybe someday, I couldn't even really talk about it. My body would go into shock, because I feel it was a little girl, my daughter's foot kick, really strong. And I thought they were going to help me, maybe counsel me to raise this child. And then the drug hit in. I didn't know they drugged me. They said it was a Valium to calm down, because I was too anxious. So I just totally trusted them. And that's when it hit. They said, you can't. And then the whole bad thing happened. So yeah, I felt her foot kick. So I'll never forget that. So it was just unconscionable for me to even face the fact, kind of seeing her little face, that this happened.
Lori.
Yeah.
Wow. Where do I get this book?
Well, no, I didn't. I just talk about that now in my podcast. Okay. Like I would just really have a hard time and cry and just get really upset. So I'm just starting to talk about it now. And I don't really feel like I know enough about like the crimes. Like I'm learning about Spotlight and how the priests would cover up
yes, I saw that.
Well, I found a connection with that, with these little girls that were being taken in there. And I wasn't like a ward of the courts and necessarily into child human trafficking or the other things that they do to children when they're wards of the state. But I feel like I might have been with these little girls, because they could do that to me without parents there. And I was underage. So yeah. So I don't feel like I know enough really at this point, though I'm still learning.
Wow, girl, that's incredible.
So I'm
That's-
hoping
that's-
something good turns out of it. I'm hoping to help other kids out there. That's why I said, we're bringing bringing the kiddos in is what came to me the other day. And I knew that it would hit you like 99% of the time. And you gave me 4 thumbs up. And I said, oh, good. So we'll try to make this enticing for kids. Because my thing is save those kids out there in the woods. Carolyn, that have been sexually abused that we talked about last time, that are so cold and alone and trying to do the right thing.
Yeah, I do like my kids. That was my first book, which came out in Aunt Katie's Visit in 2003. I wanted to start with kids with my programs, and I love educating them. I tell them how I pee, how I poop. I tell them everything. Well, I tell adults how I do that too, because they want to know. They're just embarrassed to ask. But I get it. I do get it. And the kids and empowering the children. And, just for a school asked me to come in and yes, Katie, would you do your disability awareness program? But would you talk to our 5th graders who are so full of anxiety about going to the 6th grade?
Well, it keeps me going when you're having the anxiety yourself, yes. Your own things. And the fact that you're talking about how you share these really personal moments, and I'm assuming there's such a transition. I went through a huge transition with my brain injury, but I feel like it was nothing near to being having to be in a wheelchair. And so I'm wondering, are these children going through suicidal thoughts? Are they,
they're depressed and they're scared. And I think that's bigger now because of COVID.
Yeah.
That everyone is so hyper paranoid. And I get it. I understand it, but I just choose not to be that way. I am unvaxxed, and that's because I've had clots in my legs in my able days. And the thoughts of having a clot right now with legs that are immobile scares the hell out of me. And ironically, my husband he just had one 2 months ago, and he, takes the Eliquis, boom, it's clear and free, but he has really tough veins. And so we've chosen not to be vaccinated. And I'm praying to God that is going to be acceptable enough, but it wasn't for my family. I was excommunicated from Christmas. I couldn't go. And that hurt tremendously.
Oh, yeah.
And it's interesting, the family that got the shots, some of them got sick. And I'm like,
yeah. I got really sick. Yeah.
Did you get sick?
I got, the booster almost killed me, I feel. And the second one, I got really sick, but I couldn't believe it.
Oh, yeah.
A friend too, a real close friend, he's afraid to get it too. And I'm thinking, God, if I'm near you, what is going to happen? I'm but you have to respect that, the fact that, I don't really know, I can't tell somebody to do something that, could virtually kill them. And
totally.
I want to go back to sex, Katie, if I could. The thing I was talking about with kids being intimidated, the biggest thing, especially with teens, is sex. And the perception of us, it generally seems to revolve around sex, which I wrote in, I'm going to say real quick, The Virtuous Woman, which I wrote a movie on. And I really think it's extremely important that women are the most vulnerable thought of as our sexual being. I really feel. Now, these kids who might have just ended up in a wheelchair, can you explain to me, if you don't mind, your first thoughts? Were they, oh my God, how am I going to have sex? Am I going to be perceived as a beautiful woman?
I was in rehab. I am a C5, C6 quadriplegic. I'm paralyzed from the chest down. I can feel on the inside of my arms through my thumbs and on the inside of my arm, but not on the top of my arms. And I have internal feeling. So I have with paralysis, sometimes things feel like how when a leg or arm falls asleep and you have that numbingness.
Yes.
That's kind of what paralysis for me. I still get stomach aches and I can feel internally. When I was in rehab in 1990, my occupational therapist was amazing. Her name was Lori. And I told Lori one day, I am not leaving rehab till I can put on my own lipstick. And she got a Tenodesis brace. This is my writer pen. It's got wraps around. The Teno brace is kind of like this, but the pen, this is how I write, and this is how I type on a computer. My Tenodesis brace opens up my thumb and my finger and allows me to pick things up and hold things in my hand. Yeah, and she took off my lipstick tube, put my lipstick on, and and I put my lipstick on, and I didn't want to look in the mirror though. I'm not gonna lie, because when I did, I cried. But I saw the lipstick, and I thought, okay. And they'd never had a woman in 1990 request the ability to put on makeup. And Lori and I had so much fun. She got the Tino adhesive brace, and then put rubber tubing around my makeup brushes. She devised this little mascara holder clip that fit on the side of my hand. On the side, it would slide on, and I could put my mascara on like that.
I love it.
I have since then tattooed my eyeliner. Love that. And and if I'm getting gussied up, I like to go get my eyelashes dyed, because then I don't have to worry about mascara. It's messy.
Right. Pretty in the morning too.
Yes. Wake up.
How long have you been married, may I say?
Steve and I met, so I got out of the hospital, and Lori made me feel feminine again. Right. Then that was in 1990. And then I was in 1993, I was at the state capitol doing advocacy work. And this dude comes over to me and he says, "Hi, my name is Steve." And I look at him and I go, "Don't I know you?" And he goes, "No." And we went and I did my testimony in front of the committee hearing. And it was so fun. Blew everyone. It was so silent. It was just like so cool. And we leave our presentations, and Steve comes up to me. He's like, "No one has ever talked to the legislature like that." Because I was like, "Gentlemen and ladies, what would you want? What if you were disabled? I don't want your pity. I don't want your condescending attitude. What I want is to live independently. Wouldn't you?" They're like, "Whoa."
Love you, Katie. Love you, Katie.
It was awesome. It was awesome. So Steve and I commuted for 6 years because I was on Medicaid and we couldn't get married. So he lived in Columbia, Missouri, which is about an hour and a half from St. Louis. And it turns out he grew up in Manchester, not too far from where I grew up here in St. Louis. And we just commuted for 6 years because we couldn't get married. And I was on Medicaid. I'd lose my benefits. But then my case settled in 99. Oh my God, did we have a wedding? It was so cool. I had a jazz band.
Pictures. I'd love some pictures.
Okay, I will. I'll send some pictures. And best day of life, best party I ever organized. I mean, it was, as my dad would say, top drawer.
Oh, I love it. And your family, they're like you. That's where you got it from. Now, Carolyn's been married forever to an ABC photographer. Major. Oh, cool. How many years, Carolyn?
27 years, and we dated 4 years prior to getting married. So together 31 years, married 27.
That's unbelievable.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Steve and I were married for 22 and together 29. I celebrate 32 years in the chair. And sometimes it feels like it's gone really fast. And sometimes, I don't know, it feels like it's been forever. So I don't know.
Can I mention in your screenplay, are you talking about you and Lori and the makeup and how this was such?
Oh my God, yes. And shoot, I don't know if I can hold this up. I don't think I can. I went to the graphic arts student at community college, and I was a project to design the flyer for my show. Roll with It.
Yes, which is coming out when?
October 13th. It's going to be at the it's the Black Box at the Kranzberg Center downtown.
Can you believe that, Carolyn? She wrote her own screenplay and it's coming out.
That's awesome.
I co-wrote. It was not just me.
I'm sorry. Well, still, you wrote it. Okay.
It is. The small community theater I'm having directed, and it's a love story. It says roll with it. One woman's inspirational, and I hate the word inspirational, so she crossed it out. Yeah. So instead of saying one woman's inspirational story of transformation, she crossed it out and with lipstick wrote one woman's badass transformation.
I like love chick in a chair.
Yes.
And having Steve up there, which is sexy on.
Well, and the graphic is my arm from my elbow to my hand holding a lipstick with my lipstick brace on it.
Oh, that is so good. I'm so glad. I'm glad we got into that conversation.
So when that's ready and it comes closer, I will email everybody the flyer and all that kind of stuff.
Oh,
I'm making a list, so I'll put you on the list.
I almost want to take a train out there, and this is like a huge event, and I hope you keep it going so that more of us can schedule to come out and see it.
We're going to film it too.
Oh, good.
Now, a live audience is better.
Oh, put it on like DVD or something, charge a little bit so we can order them. You can still make your money. And
that's true. That's a good idea.
And you could probably even end up, I bet you, on at least an ABC movie from this. I mean, this is where you start. You start on stage, Carolyn.
Yes. And honestly, I think it would make a love story. As I tell my audience, it took a wheelchair to find the man I love.
I like that. I was wondering what you were focusing it around. So you're like the most important thing to you is you and Steve, still after all these years.
We have so much, as I describe us, I'm the energy and he's the sedative. And he knows when to say, Katie, we need to stop. We need to rest, or we need to slow down. And I'm like, but I've got to, he gets me though. And he lets me be me. I yell and I get mad and I express myself. And he laughs at me sometimes when I'm really mad, which makes me even more mad, because he goes, you're trying to be your father and throwing me those father looks of disapproval, and he laughs at me. So I don't mind that. He stands up to me and still lets me be me.
Oh, my heart just feels so warm. Tell me about your gym. Now you own this gym, right?
No, I don't know the gym. No. The gym started as a small side project for Washington University's occupational therapy students.
Okay.
And it moved to Paraquad, the Center for Independent Living in St. Louis.
Okay.
Then it moved to its own gym behind Paraquad. It was still called Paraquad Center till a gentleman with a spinal cord injury was hurt. Stephen Ortwine, he was a big polo player here in St. Louis. Wow. And he got injured and became a quad, and he didn't live long. I don't know the circumstances, but he did not live long, but he was super rich.
Okay.
So they've given, I don't know the number, but boy, there's all kinds of neat equipment at the gym. And there are OTs and PTs running the gym, and there are OT PT students earning their practicums there. It's just such a great environment, and you have motivated me to get some film. And so I've got my next song coming out. It's being worked on right now, and we're going to film it, the music video, probably at the gym.
Oh, I like that. Can I have some of that too? If
yes.
I'm going to try to work all this in, but
yes.
Okay, I got to say this, Katie, and I can just strike this out if you feel uncomfortable, but I think I already passed it by you. Now you love, and this is so cool. Okay. We're all going to relate to this. Carolyn, I'm sure, who's been married so long, will very intently into romance. Now you ride your bike with no underwear on.
Yes.
And
because
great.
I've got electrodes stuck to my ass, and I've got electrodes on the back of my thighs and on the top of my thighs. And yeah, you can't wear clothes and bike. So I do that in the morning in my PJs.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay, so that's a needed thing. You have to do that. Okay, I did because it was enjoyable. All right. Well, I don't know if you want to, how much you want to get into sex. You are.
Sex is very important. SLU, St. Louis University, WashU, and Maryville University bring me in to talk about it regularly, and it's mostly the OT students.
Okay.
And I talk about
OT? What's OT?
Occupational therapy students.
Okay, thank you.
And I do a whole. I have a whole program on sexuality, on how it affects our different disabilities. And people ask, so what do you get out of it if you're so paralyzed? Well, when Steve and I make love, and he likes to snuggle from behind, and that seems to work the best. And I can't feel it, but my body knows something's going on because it sends signals to my brain that something's moving in your body. And while I might not enjoy sex and get the same pleasure out of sex the way I did before, when I could feel between my legs, I know it's making him happy.
Wow.
And if you want to give me an orgasm, take me shopping and clean my house.
Right. It works different for everybody.
No,
I totally agree with that.
He massages my shoulders that I can feel. Oh, I have a head scratcher that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's that little claw thing. Have you ever seen those that you bounce up and down your head?
No, I don't think I have.
Oh, it makes you feel so good.
Pictures.
Okay. A head scratcher.
And she's so cute.
I am making notes.
Thank you. I'm going to be slipping him in and out of here. So.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you already knew that. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Didn't have to say that, Lori. Ding dong. All right. Go ahead. I want to hear more.
No. And so as for sexuality for quadriplegics, the sex education that I got before I went out of rehab, a male counselor puts me in a room by myself and says, I want you to watch this movie. And the movie title was something like, You Can Still Get Your Period. It was about people with paralysis and it touched on sexuality, but it was so full of bullshit and just, am I supposed to not cuss on this? I'm sorry.
I probably will put it in. They'll let me know at YouTube if I have to redo it, but I'm used to that.
Okay.
I put a lot of stuff in anyway.
Okay. But it was, you can get your period and that was it. And it was weird. I didn't have a period all 6 months. I was hospitalized. And then I get home and I'm sitting on my shower chair, probably a couple weeks after discharge. And God, this blood just started filling the bathtub. And I was freaked out. I was like, what? And my attendant was like, girl, you got your period. And I was like, oh, I hadn't done that in a while. And so then I got my period. The greatest gift of all, Steve is infertile. Neither of us wanted children in this lifetime, and I'm okay with that.
Wow.
I know. Together, though, both of us
had. Though that you both have the same decision, though. I had wondered that too. I'm glad that you touched on that. Okay.
Yeah. And I've seen quads that have been pregnant, videos and documentaries, and there's no way I want to be pregnant in a wheelchair like this. I'd lose my tray. I have a plastic tray. I mean, I can assist in my own transfer by grabbing on and people holding my legs with their legs and me holding on. I'd need 2 people to transfer me. I'd need more attendant care. I mean, it's just crazy. And together, Steve and I have 25 nieces and nephews. So, we're good on kids, and my audience is kids. I get a lot of love.
Yes.
So I'm good with that. And people are like, oh, aren't you so sad that you don't have children, Katie? I'm like, I'm good. I don't even have plans.
Yeah, well, that's what I say too. I had one, I wanted 6. I said, no, I'm good. I'm good there.
Cool. But yeah, he makes up for what I can't feel from the chest down. He makes my shoulders and my arms and my head feel so good. And is it the same? Really? Oh my God. No, but it's still pleasurable. Makes me happy. Doing stuff like this really makes me happy. Educating and I don't know, helping people. And I do a lot of counseling. People call me and I listen and I offer advice. And if I don't know how to answer whatever they need, then I probably know somebody who does, and I share that. I like to counsel the family members too, because they're as drastically affected by the disability as.
Yes, and they don't understand. Yeah, they don't understand where you are in your mind too. I tried that. I pretty much outcasted, I think, but I wasn't close to my family anyway. I really think this is, I agree. It's about taking care of the kids to change our world, save them emotionally so we can have a better world, because I've been fighting you two and Carolyn and all us other moms to just raise better children, stronger children, if they're not our children, to try to reach them who are out there with no parents, which I don't know if you ever thought of that, taking in some kids who are living on the street, just devastated without a home, that I have thought of myself in these later years of my life.
I never thought about that. Steve and I, we don't have pets. He came to the marriage with dogs. I grew up with kids.
No pets either.
No pets. We're busy. I'm busy. I'm sorry.
I understand that. I say the same thing. Unless you take care of the dog, dirty dog butts and poos are not mine. Right. Exactly. Dog butts you have to deal with, and not the poos so much. Yeah.
It was funny with sexuality. Because I was scared. And so Steve is a friend and he wanted a girlfriend way before I was ready. And that man waited 1.5 years for a kiss. I wasn't ready because my track record with guys, I was fast and free and moving and grooving. And I like you. Oh, okay, now I don't like you. And it was just shallow relationship after shallow relationship. And so then I had this accident, and in the piece I wrote, I felt like I was a virgin again because I get to start. And so here I meet this nice guy. I didn't even want to kiss him because I was afraid to ruin our friendship. I drove my friends crazy. Should I kiss him? Should I not kiss him? What if I kiss him? What if he doesn't like it? What if I don't like it?
That is really, really cute. I mean, that is so unique to hear. It just brings chills up my spine and my body. And we only have a few minutes. I'm going to close out on that.
Because, okay.
Romance and that whole feeling of growing into such a deep love and how long you've been together because of it, I think is really so neat. And I think it's so important to spread that message of how important building relationship is.
Yes. And if you would like me to come, I would love to come back and share another time. I've got tons of poetry I can share as my coping skills.
I would love
that. I would love to. And Carolyn, I hope I get to connect with you. My email is achickenachair@gmail.com. And if we could connect, that would be really awesome, over cancer and over what your projects are going on. It'd be cool.
Right. I'll write your email address here. I like it.
Kind of sums it up. The play summary is roll with it. The journey of a chick in a chair.
I love it.
Nice. And what do we all say? What do we say anyway? Let's see. Thanks for coming to Girl Time. Let's say that together. Carolyn, I'm going to get you off the screen so we can all see everybody. No, we can't. Okay, let's just say it. Thanks for coming
to Girl Time.
Okay. Hopefully I can get that in there sounding good.
You want one more time?
Yes, let's do it. Carolyn, you do too.
Okay.
Thanks for coming to Girl Time.
All right.
I'm sure the heart is pure and simple. It just wants to be loved. It just wants to be sure. Simplicity is ensured that you'll never be afraid of what's to come, and that your mind will be alone. I hope we all find what we want. I hope we all find what we're looking for. This is one confusing word. Simplicity is ensure that you'll never be afraid of what's to come, and that your mind will be alone. Our heart is pure, it is gold, it can find love in a grain of salt. It just simply wants not to be alone. Simplicity is ensure that you'll never be afraid of what's to come.